This is Tyler Roike. I'm here with my co-host Jimmy Doolin, and you're listening to ABC's Agent Broker Conversations, where we talk all things real estate. And we'll be diving into some of the main topics of conversation happening out there amongst real estate professionals like ourselves and like likely you, the audience listening here. But Jimmy, what's going on, brother?
We're doing a lot of updates around the office right now. I got a lot of projects going on. I think we've got about, I don't know, 40 TVs in this joint. So we're replacing some and adding some additional ones in some new locations. We're taking a little area, building a bar inside the office. So a lot of housekeeping, if you will. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So a lot of movement around here with contractors and stuff like that. And in the meantime, still trying to grow. I think we've added three people to the team since January 1, and what are we, the 2 weeks in or so? And in some discussions right now with some good quality Compass agents that are very interested in making a transition. So good stuff out there.
Sounds like their compass is pointing them in a new direction. That's pretty neat.
It is pretty neat. Yeah, it was a referral to me too. It's 3 Compass agents, all big hitters. So this agent, I looked at their sales, and their last sale was like a $4 million one, and they've got a $7 million listing, and so all big deals. So nice production. Looking forward to talking to him about the team.
That's amazing. And 40 TVs, that sounds more like a sports bar than a real estate office.
Well, it's interesting because in my office, Tyler, that's why we call it the clubhouse, because the people, a lot of the agents are here every day, and not by every day, I don't mean Monday through Friday, I mean Monday through Sunday. So on the weekends, they're out on the veranda watching TV, watching the games. Got a grill outdoors. I mean, you name it. Got a full kitchen in here. It's all open. So, I mean, every Monday I make a fresh pot of homemade soup, and Monday's soup is already gone. It was finished up yesterday, which was a potato soup. And then today I'm starting some new food for tonight. We've got a card tournament going on. So yeah, there's always a lot of social here, intertwined with work. But yeah, you're right. It does seem like a sports bar. I called it the clubhouse because one time I made a comment to my staff. I said, we don't have an office. We have a clubhouse. These people don't go home. So
yeah,
all the single agents, this is their hangout.
That sounds like it's a fun spot. I mean,
it is. It's a lot of fun. It's right downtown in our little, it's 2 blocks from Main and Main.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. So what's going on in your world?
Oh, just excited for the month ahead. Got some trips planned. One of them's far, 2 of them aren't far, but excited to share more about those here as those transpire, and kind of what I take away from those things, because they're all, I'm sure I'll have some takeaways from each of them to share here. So excited to see what that what that results in.
Nice. I know you were going to be working on some YouTube stuff. Did you have you completed your YouTube desires from last week?
I did record 4 videos,
Nice.
which I just need to get them edited. I'm actually, I can't remember if I mentioned this prior, but I'm hiring someone and their team to take over all my editing. And, basically all I'm going to have to do is record the content. They're going to do the rest, but it's going to look like a professional YouTuber made it. So it's going to be awesome.
And what were your subjects, and then also, where do people find your stuff?
Yeah, the subjects this time, and so like this content in particular is agent facing, so relevant to at least half our audience, I would think, agent brokers, right? So at least half of them probably listening are agents. But first one, and some of this is just like, you'll kind of hear that, like, I'm planning to document some of this going forward. But the first topic is, my plan to break into a new market area with no sphere in 2025. you know, and so I break down my plan. The one thing I haven't quite figured out though is who's going to facilitate the business locally, because I don't really plan to be the one, you know, out all day showing houses or anything. So I got to figure out who that person is going to be locally here, but we'll get that piece into place. Second topic is the one lead source I'm going all in on 2025. Third topic is you know, the reason your real estate business is failing. If someone's out there, you know, if their business is failing, I'm kind of diving into why and how to course correct quickly if they need to do that. And then I got one for real estate brokers. Actually, I made a video. Please watch this before you start your own real estate brokerage. So yeah, those are the 4 topics I recorded this week.
Nice. And where do people find your stuff?
YouTube, my name. You might find 1 of 2 channels. It's the bigger of the 2 channels. So just yeah, you search my name on YouTube, Tyler Royke, and it's the channel that's Tyler Royke - real estate. It should come up first.
Awesome. Well, what do you say we dive into some of what's going on in the world of real estate in terms of realtors, what they're talking about?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
All right, so we got an all-star contributor here, Julie, and she says, "I'm a part-time realtor that needs help. How do I generate buyers and sellers beyond my friends and deals? Goal is to make $175 a year." Your thought?
$175,000 a year is what she's trying to make.
That's right. Goal is to make 175 this year.
And
so
she's working part-time right now.
We're talking about I mean, I think in the current world, it would be fair to assume a 30,000 per million. I mean, everybody's pretty much asking for, you know, 3 apples on every deal. So if we say 30, so.
But she's not going to take that home though, even if she did. But
yeah, sure.
I'm not sure what.
$6 million in production.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your number 1 tip for this?
And it said she's part-time in real estate, right?
Part-time realtor. Doesn't know how to spell the word realtor either. It's she's got REELTOR.
Oh wow.
Realtor.
Maybe she already knows she needs to be making content. I mean, that's how you spell real. Like if you're making like short videos.
Right.
Yeah, it's I mean, I could give a generic answer, but I'd like to know a little bit more about her to kind of speak, you know, especially being part-time. Like she's really got to hone in on on a really solid lead source that she could really commit the time she does have to doing. So and something too that's you know, going to make the most of the time she does have to put into real estate. You know,
what's your one suggestion for her outside of friends?
Outside of friends, you know, I'd say to lock into some active lead source first off, you know, and consistently do it. So, you know, open houses, cold calling or door knocking, and really, you know, really do that like full steam for, you know, at least a day of the week, if not, you know, an hour or 2 hours a day throughout the week, depending on what activity it is. That, and then if she, you know, as quickly as possible, you know, get to a point where, you know, she can reinvest, or maybe she doesn't have the money to reinvest now, but hopefully from her full-time commitment, she can take some of those dollars and invest it into creating new leads and opportunities in her business, you know, through paid ads, and, you know, especially if she could have more of the right systems in place to do that. But yeah, that's what I would say. But I think it's very important for someone in that position, like if they want to be on that track sooner than not, like to have some kind of active lead source, you know, and also to actively be building the personal brand through content. So, you know, as she's out doing these other things, you know, say she's out doing an open house, like make some content out of it. You know, you're going to have a moment where you could record a reel, have something shareable on the social media. That way people see you associating with real estate throughout the week. That's very important as well.
So if the goal is 175 this year, then that means she's got to find people that are ready, willing, and able to do something now, right? So I guess my tips would be the things where you find people that want to do real estate transactions now, because, you know, this isn't a long-term farming situation. This is a people that want to do business. So obviously open houses, Then my next would be expireds and for sale by owners. Those are your immediate, those are the people that want to do business today, now, etc. So I'm going to say open houses, expireds, and FSBOs. And how you work those expireds and FSBOs, I don't really care, but those are the people you need to work, because those are the people that want to do business today. Maybe a buyer seminar, maybe some of those things. You start working online lead sources, and man, you're 6, 8, 12, 18 months, I think, is an average out. That's not going to solve 2025 goals. So work sources that are ready to do something. All right. We've got Marilyn is up next. If you can't get to the listing without Google Maps, then you're not a local expert and don't deserve it. Refer it to an agent that needs it instead. Well, I don't know about it being a need-based thing, but
that sounds backwards.
I do agree. If you don't know where things are, you should be familiar with the community. You should be driving those streets and be roughly familiar in your hometown where you practice. You should be able to get there. But
what I'm confused about, refer to someone who deserves it. If you're such an expert, why are you having trouble generating your own business?
If you can't get to the listing without Google Maps, then you're not a local expert and don't deserve it. Refer it to an agent that needs it instead.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That doesn't make
my guess is this is a rant. They probably had an agent that couldn't find the listing and said that their instructions were bad or something like that. So this is probably a rant from this agent saying that if you can't find the house, then you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground around real estate, and maybe you should refer it off to somebody else that knows how to find the house. That's my guess. I don't know. I do think this one's kind of interesting from Jay. Jay says, why do some agents only use combo locks and not Supra? Why would an agent use a combo lock in 2025?
They're being a cheap ass.
That's the only thing I could think of, is you're just trying to save money, because you're putting your client, you're adding to your liability. Look, I've always told agents, with my brokerage, that just put yourself, if you have a question and you want to know what you should do, or if it matters if you do something, then just ask yourself this. When the judge says, why did you use a Supra or why did you use a manual lockbox versus a higher security, safer lockbox for this family? And this family's home was broken into. So Mr. Realtor, Mrs. Realtor, why didn't you use the safest lockbox that protected their home? And if you can't give a good freaking answer, I wouldn't put yourself in that position. That's the way I always view it. Just have the judge ask you the question mentally and decide if you can answer it. And if you can't, don't do it.
Yeah.
Make sense to you?
Yeah. I've never, I've never been a fan of combo boxes, because anyone can have the code. Like, you have to have the realtor key to use it, and you have a record of it. So yeah, it's a no-brainer from a liability security standpoint.
Debbie says homes.com is a scam. $9,000 in the trash. I'm also using Real Geeks, Certi, and Zillow, and will share my results in the comments. Well, let me see what the comments are. I don't like buying leads. This woman says she uses calendars. All right, here's her Real Geeks. She doesn't have any leads. Oh, Real Geeks leads generated 150, future follow-ups 10, under contract 1, closings 1. My general thoughts, Real Geeks has been so-so. The lead quality is hit or miss. Homes.com, leads generated 190, future follow-ups 20, under contract 0, closing 0. Homes.com has been a frustrating experience. Their sheer number of views on our listing looks great on paper, but it hasn't converted to anything. Certa leads generated 140 leads, future follow-ups 12, under contract 2, closings 6. My general thought, Certa has been surprisingly pretty good. I was a bit skeptical of them because they were the only company I found that has no contract, Zillow, RG Homes, etc. They all wanted me to sign a 6-month plus contract. My knock on Certa is that their lead flow isn't huge. Most of the leads are fairly serious buyers or sellers, though. We did almost cancel in the beginning because of the first 3 weeks. We got a total of 1 lead, but after the first 3 weeks, the leads started to come in. And of course, we're also gotten our fair share of looky-loos. Zillow, Premier Agent, leads generated 95, future follow-ups 9, under contract 2, closings 3. Zillow remains a reliable source. I know a lot of you don't want to hear this. I will admit that the lead quality has gone down from previous years. That's interesting. I always kind of wonder about these people if they're, if Certa is paying them to, or if they work for Certa, so they're. I always want. I never know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely wonder, especially if you see posts like that time and time again. But I'm not a fan of like paying these big companies for leads, or big or small. Like, I'm not a fan of that. My biggest problem with it is, you're like, how are you building your brand in the process? Like, it's great if you're paying for something that I feel like that will simultaneously help you build brand recognition in your local market. I don't see how a third party lead service does that, especially if it's Zillow, because Zillow is the brand. You're just buying the leads from them. Like, for me, if I'm gonna put money towards something, I'd want to put myself at the center of it, and build that top of mind awareness with my own audience in the process, because that will turn more clients in the future. If you're paying for leads, like, it's really up for you to follow up with them, and they don't even know you or your brand. Like, that's all up to you. I don't think the third party service or company's going to do that at all for you at that point. So that's the biggest problem. You're paying like literally the highest premium, but it's all on your shoulders to build your brand with these particular contacts that you're paying the high premium for. I mean, if it generates a return, great, but I'm not a fan. I can say myself, what are your thoughts on those kind of services, Jimmy? Have you do you think it's a good move to invest in different different lead sources like that?
I've never been fond of buying leads, honestly, Tyler. I had this conversation just yesterday with an agent who I'm coaching, and I had said to them that they were kind of complaining. They were complaining about the neighborhood farming that they're doing, and they were just talking about, maybe I need to be on Zillow or something like this. And so I asked them why are you neighborhood farming? Like, what is it you're hoping to accomplish? Because they were saying that maybe my method was outdated, that because I wasn't promoting buying leads, I was promoting hand-to-hand combat, if you will. And they were asking me, and they were suggesting that my thought process was out of date. And I said, well, here's my only question for you. Why are you delivering? They were like, well, to get business. And I said, no, it's not to get business. It's name awareness. It's for people to have you top of mind. So, and I asked them, I said, how many pieces of mail do you get in your mailbox that are actually things you've requested? They were like, damn near 0. And I said, so all these companies are spending money to make top of mind, to brand awareness, and it's a waste. So it's a waste for all these companies, including you, so I was like, you could either pay Zillow by buying their leads to put your name in front of people, or you can go out and generate it yourself and eventually own a geographical area. All you're trying to do is make people familiar with your name, so when they think of real estate, they think of you. That's all that farming is about. So I've never been a fan of it. I will remain not a fan. At some point in time, if you have sustainable business and you need to augment, you want to add another spoke in your wheel, fine. But to rely on some company to provide you a lead source that they can charge you what they want, when they want, how they want, they own your business, you're just renting it from them. And that to me makes 0 sense. So when you own your business and you have steady, reliable sources that you've generated and you've cultivated, and that they're predictable, and you want to add a spoke, great, let's do it. But until then, stick with what's just takes your energy, your effort, your time, your hard work, build relationships, and build your business. That's my soapbox, brother. You asked the question of the very thing my soapbox on. Best place to create an EDDM mailers. I'm just trying to get started with this strategy. Input is welcome. What's an EDDM?
Every door direct mail.
I didn't even know that acronym.
That's where you pay, like that's how you can get your spend if you want to send mailers to go the furthest, because you're basically mailing in bulk to a specific geographic area, so you can't really pick and choose the addresses, but you can pick and like they have different areas that you can pick and choose, and then you're gonna send it to all the houses there, like 5,000 houses or what have you. But you're paying less than you would otherwise for like a single postage doing it that way.
All right, so some of the suggestions were Dur printing, DURE, Post Romy, Smart Mail, 48-hour print, wholesale printing, GoPrint.com. It's like those are the big ones.
Yeah, those are like whenever you get something in the mail that's not like a typical letter, like it might be like a flyer or something, but they mailed it to you. That's how they do it.
Breaking this, I don't know if this is true or not. Fed, I don't believe this is. I don't think this is accurate. But this comment person says Fed no longer expected to make rate cuts. This could cause rates to get to 9%. I don't believe that's an accurate statement, but I don't know for sure. Do you have any input on it?
No, I'm not. I'm not familiar with. That doesn't sound like what I've heard. So,
top producers that make over $500,000 a year. What are your best lead sources? Let's see what they are. Mailers from Wise Pelican. That's what this person's using. Sphere of Influence. Sphere of Influence, Connector.com, and Zillow. Zillow. LuxuryProspect.com.
Well, yeah, all the answers have one thing in common, which is it's a scalable source of leads. So they're investing in a
audience business. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, all the answers have one thing in common, which is that it's a scalable source of business that they're investing dollars into. I mean, they've scaled that up over time, essentially.
Yeah, this one's a really good question. I don't know that it's anything we're really going to be able to add a whole lot of info to, but LA wildfires have caused 150 billion in damages. How are the insurance companies going to pay for this? Could this crash the market? Boy, it certainly could raise insurance rates. I mean, between Carolinas and California and the hurricanes in Florida, those three natural disasters this last 12 months have been pretty treacherous.
So I'm not like by any means an insurance expert, but I heard at one point that insurance companies have insurance for catastrophic events. Have you heard that? Is that accurate?
It is accurate. But you also, I mean, ultimately, these losses get reimbursed. I mean, their insurance goes up just like your insurance goes up. So ultimately, the consumer is going to pay more that's the, that's kind of the rub with California, right? Is that the governor didn't spend the money in the appropriate ways and didn't do the right things to protect California. So now the United States and the other 50 states, we all get to pay for it through our tax dollars through federal relief. It's kind of frustrating when it could have just been, instead of using California's money to fix the problems, they're going to use your money in Texas and my money in Indiana to fix their problems because of that nimbusle. Discouraged and need help. Not a single person showed up to my open house this week. And what else do you do to find clients besides open houses? Well, listen, if you didn't have anyone show up, my suggestion is you probably didn't work that open house the right way. Either that or you were in a market where it was so freaking cold. Nobody wanted to get out and go look. I mean,
yeah, you can't give up. Like if you just did one open house, you can't give up. Like you should see that as a learning experience. Like, okay, why did no one show up? Not like, oh, open houses don't work. What else do I do? This is the problem that a lot of people have getting into the business and, ultimately don't make it, is because they go from thing to thing to thing. Instead of trying to figure out how they could get better, they like throw in the towel like, oh, this doesn't work. Well, it does work because otherwise you wouldn't have learned about it as a method. You just might not have approached it right. You're not going to be great the first time you do something. Like for me, the first time I do something, I expect it to be a complete learning lesson. I don't expect it to produce a result of any kind the first time I do something.
Unfortunately, I think that a lot of people feel like they should just have to do one thing and then bam, it'll all produce the results that they need, and it doesn't work that way. It takes time. Rest of these comments, I'm not seeing anything. Good CRMs, we've talked about that. I don't know that I know what's a good one versus a bad one. I think a good one is the one you use and use properly and helps you grow your business. Because there is no right one or wrong one. It's just the one that works well for you. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much else that would be worthy of conversation. I will say this: after 35 years in the business, it's interesting to me that the questions that are being asked today by agents are the same questions that were being asked 35 years ago when I started in real estate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, they really are. It's the conversation, the thought processes, everything that goes on is it's the same things that we were talking about then. So it's just a new group of people. I will tell you something that I'm doing with my team. And let me see if I can find the email. I'll read you an email that we put out yesterday to our team. And I think you would like this one. Let me see here. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what it is. I can't find the exact email, but it was incredibly well written. My wife did it. And it was an email that went out to all of our experienced agents. And it said, hey, you guys, some of these people have been with me 20 plus years in my broker owner life. They've been with me the whole time that I've been a broker owner, which is almost 20 years. But the email was, you've got knowledge, and we've got a new generation of agents joining our company. What we want you to do is tell us a day and time that you're willing to get on Zoom for 1 hour. We'll post it on our Zoom. We'll host it. We'll brand it. You just show up. The format is yours. So it could be a conversation. It could be a presentation. It could be a Q&A. It could be anything you want it to be for 1 hour. We'll invite the agents and just depart some of the knowledge that you have on the next generation of realtors. And so we're going to record all those. And we've told the agents, whenever it's good for you, if 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night is a good time for you to spend an hour on Zoom, we'll set up that Zoom for 9 o'clock. You just show up. We'll record it all. We'll brand it all. We'll put it back out there. and we're asking our experienced agents to contribute on Zooms, and so that we can record those and then use that content to help our newer agents, so that we're getting fresh perspectives, but we're only allowing the experienced people. And by experience, right now we're starting with the most experience based on tenure, and then as things progress, we'll get to experience, because you could have a new person that's knocked on 5,000 doors, and a person that's been in the business 30 years and never knocked one door. So, but this is going to give us fresh content, fresh perspective. It'll be on all different hours and days of the week, so that people are able to get into it. The part timers, the ones that are transitioning into real estate. So I'm really excited about this. I think it'll give us a lot of good content, good information, and let's pass the information to the next generation so that they can learn from it. That was something that wasn't done when I got into real estate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the way that my wife wrote it all was just really, it made what I'm explaining to you a lot better than the way that I'm explaining it. So
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
yeah, I'm sure it's not very complicated, but she's pretty eloquent in what she does, and so I'm real hopeful, of our 85-ish team members. 60 of them are 20 plus year veterans. So 2/3 are veterans, 1/3 is new, and I'm trying to figure out how we do that on a mass scale, right? Because we just keep adding people, and unfortunately, not everybody comes to us with a tremendous amount of experience, either life experience or real estate experience, for that matter. So I want to, but I know that some of our folks are the best of the best. Like, I got one agent named Chuck, and this guy is phenomenal. He's done so much new construction, but he's got a process of documenting the construction process, taking pictures, putting together a big report. So when they close on their house, if there's ever a question, he has documented everything for them. And that's not something I could teach, because I didn't do that. But
Yeah,
but Chuck can give real live experience on how to do that.
yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that before either, but I think I can imagine what that would look like. That's got to be pretty cool for someone who's buying a new home.
Yeah, so it's not like big topics. Like, I'm not asking agents to go out there and say, here's how you prospect. What I'm asking them to do is tell something that they've done in their career that's worked for them. A process, a system, a method, and just dive deep into that singular topic, not a big vast topic. So I'm hopeful that just went out yesterday. The other thing I'm going to do is, you and I were talking about it, I think last week. You mentioned The Secret to me. That got me thinking. So I'm doing a movie night here in my office, and we're going to do The Secret.
Yeah, is that coming up this week, or when are you doing it?
I'm doing it. No, I think it's next week or the week after. I want to say, for some reason, let me look and see. I think for some reason I'm doing it on the 27th, but I got that from maybe the 28th. Yeah, movie night, 28th. Tuesday the 28th. I got that from, our conversation when you brought that up. I thought, you know what? We need to go back and watch The Secret, because people need to understand that some of what they need to do for themselves to grow their business is just to believe in it, and to think positively, and to, but it's obviously, that's not the only thing you do, but that is something you can do to grow and benefit, and make your business bigger, better, and stronger.
Yeah, mindset is really big, especially with what we do. If you don't believe that there's things bigger in store ahead of you than there are in front of you, if you keep moving forward, then you're not going to move forward past that point, if that's ever the case. So yeah, a lot of people, I just think they're not really conscious of like how important it is to have your mindset dialed in and things that they can practically do to do that, which is, just putting the right stuff in your ear and then moving accordingly.
Absolutely. Well, my friend, any parting wisdom and words you want to share with everybody?
I'd love to hear from our listeners, anyone out there, wherever you're watching or listening, I'd love to hear from you. So, if you want to drop a comment and let us know where you're at in your real estate journey. Are you an agent? Are you a broker? How long have you been in the business? Where, what market area do you serve? We'd love to hear, from any of you listening out there.
Yeah, for sure. Like the show, follow the show, comment. We're certainly making this available. We're putting a lot of information out there, so we'd love to have your input. We'd love to have your comments, whether they're positive or negative, whether we're doing a good job or a bad job. We'd love to hear about it, because if we're not doing it right, we certainly want to do something that's valuable for people. So whether it's we've got it right now or we need to make some tweaks to get it right, you're not going to hurt our feelings. We've got thick skin. We're big, tough, burly, modern men that can handle it. Right, Tyler?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Until next week, everybody, you have a great week. We appreciate you being here for the Agent Broker Conversations every week with your hosts, Tyler and Jimmy. Talk to you soon.